Jensen Saturday on stage, ladies and gentlemen!
I see some people like running to their seats. It's okay, this isn't school, you're not gonna get in trouble. Or maybe you will. Oh, come on, not that kind of trouble. Calm down. How many of you were here last year? Wow. I guess I didn't mess up. I can't make any promises this year. Well, how's everybody's day going? Good? Yes? I apologize if in some of your photos that you took with me, I have like tomatoes as eyes. The lights and the fan and the lack of sleep has, you know, made my eyes shot, so I apologize for that. I'm not stoned. Or maybe I am. Anyway. Hi. Oh, good, that guitar's going. I don't need to go through that again. Okay, alright. Feeling pretty good. It's, almost 5:30. Yeah, let's do some questions. How about you?
Hi.
Yeah, hi.
So, you know, every director has his own style, and some special directors' things, like, you know, Kubrick's symmetrical. So I want to ask you, have you got any your personal director things, or maybe you just think about it?
I don't think I have it. I mean, I certainly am not a director that has had enough experience to establish a particular style. My style is supernatural. I directed the style that the show is shot in, so that has been established by other directors in the past. That being said, I will say that there's certain little helpful suggestions that have helped me along the way. I don't want to say rules or guidelines, but because I don't think that rules really exist when you're dealing with art. And so, you know, something that comes to mind is if the subject is stationary, then move the camera. If the subjects are moving, then it's okay to leave the camera still. Little things like that. And those are little pearls of wisdom that have been given to me by people like Bob and people like Kim Manners and people like Phil Segretia and people like John Showalter and people like Charles Beeson and the list goes on and on and on. And I've tried to remember those and write those down and implement those into what I do. So really my style is the style that I've learned with, and that is the guys that do Supernatural, and I'm pretty proud of that. So, thank you.
Thank you. You're an amazing director, by the way.
Thank you. Make sure you tell Bob that when he comes up here later. Make sure you tell him. Hi.
Hi, Jensen. So, earlier at another con, you and Jared said that maybe one of the most challenging parts about playing Sam and Dean when the other one is not normal Sam or normal Dean. So I would like to ask you, was it different for you to play evil characters together, Leviathan, Sam and Leviathan Dean?
Evil characters together, have we done that?
Yes, Leviathan.
Wait, what?
The Leviathans when they formed Sam and Dean.
Oh, yes. Well, that was kind of a... I mean, that was kind of fun. That was almost like, you know, sometimes you dream you're the bad guy, or, you know, you dream you're a superhero or something. So that wasn't an actual character arc. That was us playing, you know, almost like when I played Shapeshifter in season 1. So that's, it's not really Sam or Dean affected by something. That was actually somebody else posing as Sam and Dean. So that was a little easier, in my opinion. when we are actually those characters, when we are Sam and Dean, when I play Dean, and Dean is affected by the mark of Cain, or Dean is the demon, as opposed to a demon pretending to be Dean. Do you understand the difference? It's more difficult to play the character that is affected as opposed to playing another character that's pretending to be Dean. So in that regard, it makes it more difficult to challenge the relationship that is so solidified in this series that is the two brothers. When you challenge that with bringing in a different aspect of the character, it can make it more difficult, which is why we say that it's very hard, because we're so used to relying on that relationship as the foundation of the show. And when you alter that relationship or try to change that relationship, it alters the foundation, and it's difficult to do sometimes. But at the same time, I think it makes for really good story points. So it's in my mind, it's a necessary evil. No pun intended.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. When you mentioned JJ today, earlier, it reminds me of Dean in his connection with kids in the show. So do you think if Dean has a parenting feelings for Claire, and if he has ever thought about having kids at all?
I think Dean's well, I'll answer the first question. Yes, I think there is a paternal instinct with Dean, and that I think stems from his brother. I think that he had to be not only a big brother to Sam, but he had to be a father figure sometimes to Sammy. And so I think that there is that paternal instinct that resides in him. I think his opinion of being a father is probably the same as his opinion of having a meaningful relationship with somebody, and that is that if he brings a woman, or if he falls in love with a woman, then he knows that he is putting that person in danger. And I think that if he was to father children, then he would be bringing people into his nightmare. And Dean does not want to do that. He wants to save as many people outside of his nightmare as possible, and protect the ones that he has now, and not bring more people in, because that would just make it even more difficult on him. So unfortunately, I don't think that fatherhood is in his future, but I do think that he would I think he'd make a good dad outside the life of Supernatural.
So this is not probably a question, it's more something that I wanted to let you know. As you probably heard already, lots of the people in the fandom once suffered from depression or anxiety or panic attacks. I'm one among them. And I want to thank you, because if I'm here today and not just in Rome, like on Earth, it's because of you and the cast and the way you have to interact with us and make us feel like we're important. And I don't know what I want to say, I just want to thank you, because it's really fundamental for me and for other people that you still get in touch with us and you still give us reasons to keep fighting every day. I wanted to commit suicide, then I met Supernatural, and now I'm happy about life and about everything that comes with it. And I stop because I'm about to cry. But
well, listen, let me say two things to you. Three things, actually. One, thank you for sharing that, because I know that's not easy. Two, I'm very happy that you're here. And three, the show is about two characters who don't give up. And if you relate to those characters in any way, shape, or form, you're on the right road.
Sorry, I will ruin the last question.
No, hey, we're here for all different reasons, so that's a great thing.
You said earlier that you liked episode 200 very much. And in this episode, Sam was interested in what Dean liked better, DSTL or CASDL. How do you prefer to call it?
Wait. I think I misunderstood part of that question. So in the 200th episode...
Yeah. When Sam and Dean came out of the school,
Yeah.
Sam was asking Dean, DSTL or CASDL? So how do you prefer to call it?
Either? Neither? I don't have a preference. Nada? Yeah. Zero?
Thank you.
Yeah. Not touching that one. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jensen. Amazing time with the guitar up there last few panels. So
I apologize.
So I was wondering if you could get into any other major career choice, what would you do and why?
That's kind of a difficult question because I've been doing this since I was 18 years old, and a lot of people don't know what they want to do until they're in their 20s, or even later sometimes. So I didn't have a clear idea of where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do when I was 18 years old. And for those who have that passion and that drive and that clear understanding of where they want to be, what they want to be, more power to you. I did not. And the acting thing kind of kind of came to me and pulled me into it, as opposed to me going and try to get a hold of it. So in that way, my future kind of directed itself. And it wasn't until a few years working in the industry that I realized that I not only liked to do it and enjoyed many aspects of it, but B, that I could do it. I mean, it was years before I even thought that I had the confidence enough to do this kind of stuff. And as I was working, as I was getting jobs, and as I was on television, and as fans were coming up and going, "Hey, I love watching your show," I'm still going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I was into my early 20s when I figured out, I was like, okay, I think this is, I can do this. So it took a while to build that confidence up. That being said, that if that had never happened, where would I be? I don't know. I would probably have something to do with water. I've always liked being on the water, being near the water, being, I jokingly say sometimes that I'd be a fisherman. I don't know that that's totally a joke. Maybe a sailor of some sort, I don't know. I could certainly cuss and drink like one if I need to. Yeah, there's a lot of different avenues and roads that I wonder about. I would hope that I would have found something that I was good at and that I enjoyed and that I was passionate about, and whatever industry that may lie in, I think that would have been the most important thing to me, is to at least enjoy my job, whatever it may be. And thank God that I do, and I'm continuing to. So,
thanks very much.
Thank you. Hi.
7-year relationship has been put to test more than once, and they always manage to come back from it. And I wanted to ask, is there anything you think that they won't be able to come back from, or would come between them? And if so, what do you imagine it will take?
I think the only thing that could ever ruin that relationship, that Sam and Dean, is if one of them gave up on the other one. but I don't ever see that happening. So I don't ever see that relationship ever being put so far beyond a reconciliation that it would break. So, but that's the only thing I can see is that there's one literally wholeheartedly walking away from the other one and turning their back and leaving them. Because I think they dabbled with that in the past. You know, Sam tried to move on after Dean left, and Dean was like, "Make me a promise, go and live your life," but we could see that Sam struggled with that because he could never really let go. And we've seen that back and forth, and I think that that's one of the things, you know, going back to what I was saying a second ago, like, they just never give up on each other. And I think that that's the nucleus of what this show is. So if that was going to ever break, it would take that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Hi.
Hi. First, thank you for being so amazing. And second, my question is...
You're welcome.
My question is, we all grew up with various fairy tales and children's books, and there was always a lesson to be learned. And if you had to write a children's book, what would it be about, the message?
That's a good question. I mean, obviously there's a recurring message that's been talked about quite often lately, and I think that that's a really, really good one. So I'm trying to think of something else that's similar. But what's happening here? Oh, just pictures. There we have staff crawling in the ground down here. A children's book. Children's book. I gotta say, I've always liked the bear children's books, like just something that has to do with bears. You know, there was the Goldilocks, right? And then you had the Berenstain Bears, and then you had Winnie the Pooh, and I was always a bear fan. And then I was always turtle fans too. I don't know, for some reason, I'm like, oh, these slow, intelligent these slow, intelligent beings that live forever. I love them. So it would probably have something to do with one of those two animals. The moral of the story would be don't go blank in front of an audience. I'm honestly, I have no idea. What? Oh, yes.
Jensen, I have a question for you. Sometimes it's clear you work with very big actors and wonderful people, but we want to know, of all of the producers and writers on the show, which is your favorite?
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm not going to answer that.
There is a correct answer. The answer is Bob Singer and Eugenie.
Because that's the obvious answer.
That's the obvious answer.
And also the correct answer. Guys, can you just give warm? I'm gonna invite some people up on stage with me to just they're gonna do one of two things. They're going to help me not go blank like I just did, and they're also going to help me give you back the love that you deserve. So can I ask Bob Singer and Misha Bob to come back?
momentous occasion.
This is a momentous occasion.
This is Bob's first.
First time to be scheduled to come on and share the deepest, darkest secrets of Supernatural. Because if there's one man that knows them better than any at all, it's this one right here. Hi Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
How you feeling?
I'm a little nervous.
This is a rough crowd, by the way. They will tear you to pieces.
And a big crowd. Wow.
And a beautiful crowd.
Yeah.
All right, calm down.
And I'm sensing they're not really here. They're not all here for me.
There might be one or two here for Misha.
How many are here for me?
How many are here for me? Hot crowd.
I don't believe it. Anyway, I thought, and the reason I wanted to come, and I know you come to see these guys, and they're special, is that maybe I could give you just a different perspective from what the actors do. If you have any questions about the writer's room, or what it's like to direct these guys, or just...
Everyone's
we probably don't want to get into that.
So that'll be my purpose. So, you know, fire away, and if you have any questions for me.
Let me say to this young lady here, I apologize about the moral of the story. I will think about that, and I will find you. I think I can recognize the outfit. So, yeah, I'll see what I can do there.
Did we walk in on you just going blank?
Yeah,
Is that what
we did.
That doesn't happen that often, just so you know. But you were like this. She really, was it a stumper? What happened? A logic puzzle?
Yeah, the logic puzzle was if you could write a children's book, what would the moral of the story be?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did it. You stumped me.
That is tricky because
congratulations.
He raises immoral children, so
it's true. It's true. So, all right. Well, we're gonna swing it over here. And fire away any question you want. But remember,
we should sort of set up.
But remember, the boss is here.
I think that really all the questions should be Bob oriented because I mean the truth is this is a rare
certainly is a rare occasion,
and let's take advantage of it.
There's a lot of questions that we field, you know, from time to time where we're like, I don't know, like you'd have to ask a writer, producer, director, person. Unfortunately, we have all three in this one right here. So,
no pressure. Right?
No pressure. No pressure. You're welcome to ask, you know, Misha a personal question about, you know, his manscaping, but I don't think that that's probably where we need to go. So.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. But I did my original question was for you, Jensen, but it kind of works now that Bob's on stage because. I tried counting, and it seems like you are, Jensen, you're approaching like 70-something conventions since 2005. Misha is slightly more because he goes to the smaller ones and like to Russia.
He goes to the smaller ones?
She's counting the Christmas parties that I host at my house. She's counting as conventions, so it's not really fair. But
yes. Well, my question was like if you could give yourself advice back in, like if you could go back and like tell yourself what it's going to be like, what you're in for. But now that Bob's here and he's new here, what advice would you give to him, like for the convention circuit?
What advice would I give to him?
No, what advice they would give to you.
Oh,
well, let me answer that. Bob, I got this. You know, I would say that from starting then and knowing what I do now, my advice, and it would be very simple, is to allow the love in. I don't think I did that very well in the beginning because I was uncertain how to process it. Because you guys give a lot of love. You do, and it's phenomenal, and it's inspiring, and it's humbling, and it motivates us to do what we do today. And I wish that I had allowed that fuel to be a part of my life earlier in my life. But now know that it is a great deal of what fuels me. So that's what I would say.
But I'm going to go back in line.
Oh, that's very sweet. Okay, all right. Hi there.
Hello. Well, the question was for Jensen, but maybe someone wants to answer it. Dean was portrayed in different forms. I mean, a demon and future Dean. But if Dean was an angel, what would he do in a supernatural world?
I can't imagine any scenario in which he would be an angel. We've known each other now for the better part of 10 years. I have never seen an angelic moment. Were he to become an angel, I think the first thing he would say was, "Get these goddamn wings off of me. I don't want
It's because I'm such an angel in real life.
You know what they say? The villain is the hero of his own story." So.
Thank you.
I have a question for Bob. Bob, how did you come to be involved in the production of Supernatural in the first place? Like, how did you come to? Oh, I'm sorry. They're here to arrest me.
Finally, guys, over here.
What was that process?
Is anyone interested in that story at all?
Yes!
Eric Kripke wrote and produced the pilot of Supernatural. Eric is, well, he's not so young anymore, but was very young when the show started. It was a wonderful pilot. The show got picked up. They felt that Eric needed a sort of older, more experienced guiding hand to help him mount the series. I think if you would have asked Eric at the beginning before we got together, he probably would have said, "I don't need any old fart telling me what to do," but be that as it may, I looked at the pilot. Eric and I got together. I liked the pilot very much, and after a number of meetings with Eric, we decided to give it a go and to try to be partners in producing the thing. And I've said this before, for the 5 years that Eric was on the show, I think it was probably a rewarding experience, a creative experience as I've had in a pretty long career. So I feel really fortunate that Eric made the pilot and that Eric invited me to come on this journey with him, even though he left the boat about 5 years ago. But you know, so that's the way it happened. They do that sometimes. Usually those marriages don't work, but this one worked great, and it's been a great ride.